What's up, guys? It's Sean Odo, owner of Valhalla Training Grounds. This is the Valhalla Chronicles. This is not the bullshit that you read on social media. These aren't fake stories told by fake people. These are the chronicles of life. Back with me after a long hiatus.
2 weeks.
Slippery Sal.
Had a rough 2 weeks, dude.
Yeah?
Yep.
That's what happens when you leave the country, dude.
Well,
You can't be doing that shit.
Well, before, my little girl was sick,
Yeah.
and then school was about to kick off,
School
too.
started.
School
Yep.
started, which makes things worse.
Well, there's traffic everywhere now. Traffic sucks in the morning. Traffic sucks in the afternoon.
Yeah, but like less time. Like,
Well, you shuttling kids everywhere.
so like we just put her in jujitsu
Okay, that's
at
good. Good shit. I like that.
Cajun Combat. It's like right there on Airline.
Okay.
About little farms and Airline.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was in ballet, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I get it. She's a girl. Everybody wants to do dance. But the whole time, I'm like, what in the fuck is this doing? And like, I don't know anybody.
What,
like,
the jujitsu?
no, the ballet.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't know anybody like cheerleading. You get a scholarship, or like maybe some like dance club. You know, I'm like, what does this do?
Yeah.
Like after you're like 15, okay, like you're 15, you're done. Your feet are fucked up, they're ugly. You know, so like what now?
Yeah.
What did dancing get me?
Yeah.
But the combat, I mean, dude, she's 6. It was her first lesson. They instantly show you how to choke somebody out.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, I feel like the combat sports are good because it teaches discipline, and that's what I feel like so many people, young and old, are lacking now.
Yeah.
So anything you can do that instills and ingrains discipline in you, I mean that's the way to fucking go. And it's hard. So I feel like the shit that instills discipline the best is the shit that's hard.
Yeah.
Not to say dance is not hard. I just feel like jujitsu.
Yeah, have you ever seen Dance Moms? It's fucking hard. That woman yells at them kids and they cry.
Yeah.
She couldn't fucking do a dance move to save her life, too. That's the best part about it.
No,
Well, it's 300-some pounds.
They're living vicariously through those fucking kids.
Yeah.
But I think anything that's hard that teaches discipline, especially like the younger you can start them,
Yeah.
that's just the way to fucking go. It's the way
Yeah, it's a lot more fun for her, too.
Yeah.
And then you go to recital. So you go twice a week, and then it's just one recital for the whole year. You go to this recital, the song's 2 minutes, it's over.
Right.
So all of that work for 2 minutes,
Yeah.
it's like 3 or 4 moves, and then they just repeat the same 3 or 4 moves again for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, great.
Right.
But that's the biggest scam. That is equivalent to the travel baseball. That is
Dude, travel
money.
And look, I know
Fucking hungry.
baseball's a big thing. Dude, if you're a parent that has your kid in baseball and y'all do the whole travel baseball thing, fuck, man, more power to you, because that shit is year fucking round. It don't stop. Like,
And then
I just hope your kid loves baseball. I hope you're not making him do it because you want him to be a pro baseball player someday. I really hope they're enjoying doing it, because fuck, man, that's a lot.
Well, it doesn't matter. Like, so when we grew up, you played at the playground, right?
Right.
Whoever made the playground.
I played football. I didn't play baseball.
Well, it's the same concept, the same amount of teams.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably 4 teams at the playground. You all played each other, and then you made like an all-star team, and then
Right.
you played other playgrounds.
Right.
And then you get like on JPRD, and then you go play other, you know, counties or parishes around.
Right.
Same thing. But like, so they got all these travel ball teams, and it's all to make the high school team.
Yeah.
There's the same amount of high schools that we had 40 years ago.
Right.
They didn't make any more high schools.
Right.
So
Right.
there's still the same amount of spots to play.
Right.
So where the fuck are all these kids going?
Yeah.
They all getting cut. It's just more travel ball teams just equals more kids getting cut.
Right.
It's the same amount of teams. There's the same amount of colleges. There's the same amount of pro teams. I don't give a fuck how many travel ball teams you create out of thin air. This is still the same amount of spots.
I mean, look, man, if you love it, if you're doing it and you love it, it's one thing. See, I played football and I loved football. Dude, when I'm telling you, I was the kid that had like there was in grammar school that had like the football is life shirt on, you know, the football is life, the rest is just details.
Right.
Like, dude, I was all for football. But I loved football in its simplest form.
Yeah.
So like 8th grade football, fucking loved. Made varsity my 9th grade year. After that, I hated football because it wasn't go kill the motherfucker with the ball. It was read line scrimmages, read your nearest back,
stay in your
read
gap,
your quarterback, follow this, follow that. I'm like, dude, I just want to go hit the motherfucker with the ball. Like,
no.
That's it. And you couldn't.
No.
And so I played varsity for 2 years and I quit because I'm like, okay, I'm not enjoying this. I'm not going to do it in college. I have zero desire to play football in college.
Right.
I'm like, I'm going to go enjoy the last 2 years of my high school.
Yeah.
And do what the fuck I want to do.
But dude, I don't know. There is a playbook. I don't know where the playbook is passed down to these local coaches. There's like the perfect game baseball people. They send down a playbook on how to convince parents that their kids are going to go and play college. It's like the giant scam.
Well, that's fine. Okay, so you go play college, then what?
Well, no,
like what's the percentage of college kids that go to
they don't even go that. They don't even go to college.
Well,
it's hard to go to college. There's only
Well, dude, every level, to creep up every level is increasingly harder. Just because you were a stud at the playground doesn't mean you're going to be a stud in high school. But just because you were a stud in high school doesn't mean you're going to be a stud in college.
But then they fall for it. Then they all go to Panama City and play this tournament, and it's like, well, wait.
Well, because the parents think about the payout.
Everybody in this tournament's from Louisiana. Why can't we fucking play in Louisiana?
Right.
And then the parents calling me, hey, can you donate $20? I said, buddy, I'm not paying for your vacation. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck if your kid's going down there to play to get this fucking ring made out of tinfoil. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Every weekend, they put the fucking ring up. It's the same. That's how you know it's a scam. Something's passed down from way up. They all even have the same team poses.
Right.
They're
indoctrinated.
Oh, it's insane. Parents, dude, they fucking fall. Dude, I can't believe it. And then it's the same people saying, I can't believe people out there voting for Democrats. I can't. You're psyoped from another angle. You're the same person. Right. Step out and fucking look at it.
Right. You're indoctrinated just in another category.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah. Right.
Blows my mind.
People are wild, dude.
Dude, it's fucking crazy.
People are fucking wild. And I actually had that conversation today with a guy who was a member, because I was talking about how it was like, you know, in the Hunger Games, you sided with the resistance. In the Matrix, you sided with the resistance. And they named all of these movies where it was basically like a resistance against like the big order.
Correct.
And like, y'all get it when it's not real. But when it comes down to real life, you don't fucking get it. So this guy messaged me and said, well, what are we supposed to do? I decided we're actually going to make an episode about this. So I'm not going to talk a ton about it. But I was like, when you realize that the government doesn't have our best interests at heart anymore, and you realize that everything they're doing is to fuck you up, how to side with the resistance and how to fight everything going on is to be the best that you can possibly be. Because if you are the strongest and best you can be physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially, okay, you have to work to do all that. So now all this shit that's being given away, you resent because you're like, well, no one gave it to me. I had to fucking work for it. So no, I don't believe in giving that shit out. I believe in work for it. When you're financially stable and financially successful, all these bullshit programs and this and that, we're giving all of this free money, you're not going to be about that. Because you're like, well, wait a minute. No one gave me anything. I had to work my fucking ass off to get to where I'm at financially. Yeah. So then all of a sudden now what happens is these political lines, they all start to blur. Because now you're forming your own opinion and you're like, well, no. Now that you're in this spot, the best you've ever been in your health, your mind, your emotions, and your financial status, now your whole belief system changes because you had to work your ass off to get all this shit.
Yeah.
So you don't believe in, oh no, we shouldn't we're not going to condone this certain behavior because these people are emotionally not okay. Fuck you, go get okay. I got okay.
Yeah.
And so I was explaining that to him and he was like, fuck. It's like, that's actually a really good point. And I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, stop thinking in terms of politics. Stop thinking like red and blue. Fuck that. I'm like, think about, I'm like, the resistance is being the best you can be because the current order, which is both sides,
right,
want you the weakest you can be in all those aspects.
Yeah.
So then you become the best you can be, and now you got a whole new set of beliefs, and now it's a lot clearer the shit that you will tolerate and the shit that you won't tolerate. And he was like, fuck, that makes so much sense. I'm like, yeah.
And just know,
so we're actually going to do an episode on that.
And just know that everything is fake and everything's a fucking lie.
It's the Matrix.
Yeah, everything you learn in high school, lie, all fake. You know, I feel bad for people that actually like failed out of high school. You know, and our dumbass society like stigmatizes those type of people, and it's like, yeah, the guy failed. Like he saw through it instantly. He knew this was all bullshit instantly.
Do you remember?
Like, I don't need to be in this.
Do you remember if like you didn't go to college?
Oh my!
You were like a loser.
Oh, what?
And then only to grow up and find out Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all of these fucking people, all of these like multimillionaires, none of them went to college.
Well, it's not that. It's not only that. It's the guy that fucking stepped straight out of high school and just went and cut 100 lawns and makes 150 grand a year.
Yeah.
And that person, most people, I would say 90% of people that went to college, they still don't even make 100 grand.
Right.
And 100 grand ain't shit right now.
No, 100 grand ain't nothing right now.
Like, it's great. They just taught you to sit behind that desk. And again, most likely your job is only there because of like an insurance company and like attorneys, and they need somebody to like fill out some kind of form for fucking everything just in case they get sued. Like you have a fake job that was like put there by fucking litigation. You know, it's all fake. Like
DEI.
Well, you go to these like businesses and it's like, what are all these fucking people doing? This is like a construction company. It's like all like it's just made up shit. Like we need a bunch of payroll. We need to wash a bunch of money. Like
that's what it is. It's tax write-offs.
Yeah, and it's like you have a fake job.
Yeah,
but you need to understand that it's fake, so you don't get wrapped up in it and get angry about your job.
It goes back to wanting to be the best that you can be. Because if you want more for yourself, like that was my thing. I got fed up working for other people and busting my ass to make other people money, and then when the time came for me to get rewarded and the hard work that I did be acknowledged, they're like, dude, you did great. You made us extras of thousands of dollars, and you pushed our shipping cutoff time forward 4 hours, all of this shit. They're like, we're gonna give you a 25-cent raise.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not, what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? I could be busting my ass making my own self money.
Correct.
Instead of making other people money that don't give a fuck about me.
But you weren't taught that.
No, you weren't taught that. You were taught to go get a job and make other people money.
Well, that's what
not exactly like that, but that's what you were taught to do.
Well, that's why that's what you were taught in high school, and that's what you were taught at the college preparatory school.
Right.
Because
to go work for someone else.
They controlled you and taught you how to make someone else really rich.
Right, correct.
That's what they did.
Correct, absolutely. Right up. So.
Yeah, but I feel bad for that guy. Because I felt it too, man. I didn't want to go to fucking college. I mean, I played ball, but other than that, I could care less about fucking college. I knew I was going to try to get on the fire department.
I literally spent 11 years in college because I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. And it was all because I had shitbag parents that were beating in my head that I needed to go to college because that's what you do.
Yeah.
Only to open my own business down the line and not use anything that I learned in college. Like, not a fucking thing.
I knew it was a scam, and like you had to go to school and like you could take Latin. That's when I knew it was all full of shit. It's like, here's a language that doesn't even fucking exist anymore.
Yeah, we're going to teach you a dead language.
You could take it and fail it and fail out of school.
Right.
Like, that's how insane it is.
Yeah.
That's
Shit
how
that doesn't matter.
That's how insane it is.
Yeah.
And nobody steps back and looks at that. It's crazy.
And thinks it's fucked up.
Yeah. We can ruin your life over a dead language if you don't learn this fucking dead language. Yep. Isn't that crazy?
It is, but with all the shit going on right now, it's really not. It kind of like just fits in line with everything fucking else that's going on.
So if you think about that, just on the littlest fucking form of anything you could find.
You know what it's called? It's called common sense.
Yeah.
If you look at it through an objective lens and use common sense, a lot of shit stops making sense.
Well, you said about the movies. Like, it makes sense because you're not in the movie, though. You're just watching this play out. You're like if a fucking alien came from outer space and looked at us and all the shit that we fucking argue about, that alien would be fucked up. He would say, y'all are fucked up.
No, he'd leave. He'd be like, yeah, no, I'm leaving this circus alone.
But, like, you're watching the movie. Yeah, they believe, because they're actors in the movie, so they really believe that that's what us. We're actors in this bullshit life.
Correct.
But you need to take yourself out of it and look at it.
And look down.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you could decide, hey, man, is this right or is this other side right? I mean,
right.
And that's all it is. But if you're invested in something, they ain't shit that anybody can tell you to change your mind either. That's a scary motherfucker.
Well, I think they got two sides to that. So you got the people that are so attached to their political party or their whatever group, social group, whatever they associate with. They're so fucking tied to that as an identity because they don't have one.
Right.
That they blindly believe the message that's put out with no rationale as to why. And like we talked about it on the third Q&A I just did with Taylor. And we were talking about how they were interviewing people and asking them, do you support Biden, Kamala Harris, what the fuck ever?
Right.
And these people would like hang themselves and be like, oh my God, yes. Like she instituted all of these great policies and the person would be like, oh great. Well, what policies has she done that you really like, that you believe in and you're really approve of? And she's like, I don't really know. What do you mean? You just said.
Right.
Like they're saying shit because they're conditioned to say it.
Right.
They don't believe what they're saying. They don't know why they're saying it. They're just like, these people that my identity is attached to tell me that this is what I should say, so I say it. Well, then when you got to back it up, you have no reason why you believe that. You don't have a fucking clue.
Right.
And that's the scary part. Because you can get these people to blindly believe and follow this shit for no reason.
Right.
Not because they believe in it, not because they agree with it, because your group told you this is what we're going to do. This is what we say.
Dude,
that's scary.
Even if you broke it down to just a professional football team. Like no matter what they do or what they say, or you're going to follow that team. And you're going to go dump $5,000 a fucking season on drinking in that stupid place and go cheer for these people that don't know your name. And they're laughing at you. You're coming to see this crap and cheering for us. And we're millionaires because of y'all.
Yeah.
And like, we're putting out a shitty performance.
Sporting events, dude.
Well, yeah, but even if you just blindly follow just any team or anything, it's the same thing.
Well, the thing I never got about the sports thing, especially down here, we'll use the Saints as an example, is because I never had a real high, how do I want to word this? I never ever, so growing up, I loved the New York Giants when I was young. They had an awesome team. They were kicking ass. Well, fucking Lawrence Taylor, he was a shit.
Oh, yeah, Lawrence Taylor, that's what I meant.
Phil Simms.
Well, Lawrence Taylor.
Rodney Hampton.
He's the best athlete of all time in any sport.
He was one of the best linebackers ever. But so I fell in love with the Giants.
Smoking crack.
Yeah.
Bro, if we smoked crack, we would get fired from fucking McDonald's.
Well, and we'd be shitty at flipping burgers, too.
Well, right. He's smoking crack and he's the best linebacker of all time.
Right.
Imagine that.
Right. Right, exactly.
We couldn't even fucking do this podcast smoking crack.
Fuck no. Fuck
He's the
no.
best linebacker of all time while high on crack cocaine.
Yep.
Amazing.
But so I fell in love with the Giants because they were this badass, awesome, dominant team. They had a lot of players that I loved.
Yeah.
So like I had latched onto that. Well, I latched onto the Giants until they became shitty.
You're right.
Which was, I don't know how many years later, but they were fucking terrible for like years. And I was like, well, this sucks.
You're right.
You know? So then I actually shifted to the Steelers because the Steelers was a dominant team at the time and they had a bunch of players I really loved. James Harrison, one of my favorite players ever. So I was really, really on to the Steelers. But I could never understand people attaching to a team just because it was like your state team if they were fucking horrible.
And not only that,
Like
none of these players are from the state.
Well, but who celebrates and cheers for mediocrity?
Well, yeah.
And look, I get it. Some people like the home team. You feel like you got to root for the home team. Okay, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying me personally, I could never sit there and root for and get behind a team and support a team that was fucking horrible. Because who does that?
All right.
Who cheers for the fucking loser? And the Saints have been horrible for so fucking long, and these people are like, oh, you know, I'm going to support the Saints until the day I die, and like, I'm going to cheer for them. And I'm like, what are you cheering for? They're fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Like, are you, so you're cheering, hoping that they may win a game?
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I
Like
couldn't.
It romanticizes the guy that, you know. You ever seen that movie Fever Pitch?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
He's like a Red Sox fan, and the Red Sox have lost everything from day one.
Yeah.
Never won a World Series, 100-something years, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
whatever. Well, it romanticizes this guy. He can't find a relationship, you know, but he's addicted to the Red Sox. And because of that movie, everyone became a Red Sox fan.
Yeah.
But then once the Red Sox won the World Series, nobody's a Red Sox. It's not cool anymore
Right.
because they're the winner now. It's like you like the band before people find out about the band.
Right.
But then when the band becomes popular, that band sucks. They're sellouts only because they're popular. And
Right.
you're trying to be like this guy that's like counterculture, and I want to like the loser. You know, I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to go
Well,
with the mainstream and go with the winner.
And so that's my thing. So like they were never my favorite team, but the one thing that I loved that I'll still say to this day, one of the players I respected the most was Tom Brady and the Patriots. And people are like, oh well, what the fuck? They just always won. I'm like, yeah, that's why I admire them because they always fucking win. What's the problem with that? Like Tom Brady can be down. Can be losing at the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl and turn it around and fucking win.
He did it.
That multiple times.
But he was picked like the very last pick of the whole draft.
But that's the shit.
Nobody thought he was a winner.
But dude, that's the shit people, and you got people that hate this motherfucker because he wins. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Right.
Like
you hate Nick Saban because Alabama wins every year.
Like this motherfucker, his team's losing in the Super Bowl in the fourth quarter. He finds around to turn around and win. Dude, you could translate that to life. Like, you should. I want to find out what this motherfucker does.
Right.
I want to find out when the chips are stacked against this motherfucker and he figures out a way to win. That's the motherfucker I want to admire. And I go, fuck Tom Brady. He wins all the time. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
He was never even supposed to make that team. He was never. I mean, he worked his ass off.
But we'll cheer for the Saints being fucking horrible. We'll cheer for them, but fuck Tom Brady because he wins. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But again, it's people are invested in whatever it is. But it's something that you said too when you were young. I'm wondering. So you didn't really have. You weren't alive long enough to really be vested in any team. You just liked this team because they won and they had good players.
Well, so
you were attracted to that. So
right.
I'm thinking as a young kid, before your mind is fucking destroyed by any pop culture or anything that kind of manipulates you, I feel like everybody would be with the winner.
Right. Well, so I came up in an environment. My dad was morbidly obese. Like everyone in my family was very normal. So growing up, I loved and I attached to like the big action stars, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Because they were like big and dominant and they were winners. That's the shit that I attached to because I didn't have any of that around me. Like that's what I don't want to be like my dad.
Right.
I wanted to be like fucking Sylvester Stallone. I wanted to look like Rambo.
Yeah.
That's who the fuck I want to look like.
Yeah.
So I always attached to like the people that won and the people that were dominant and the people that, you know, looked like the Ultimate Warrior was my favorite wrestler because he was jacked the fuck up out of control. He was the most like aggressive, dominant out there fucking one. That was the shit that I attracted to. And now I'm like, what the fuck? No one likes that shit anymore. Like, what the fuck? Like,
oh no, well they demonize all of that. They convince you that any like.
What, the winning's bad?
Well, the dad
being dominant's bad.
The dad bods in, you know, all of that.
We talked about that previously. I don't believe that any woman wants some dude and his baloney tits sweating on top of them. Okay.
Well, I know, but they try to make that unattractive. The fit guy that works out.
I want to sit here and squeeze on this guy's titties while he's on top of me, humping me, instead of rubbing on this dude's pecs and six pack while he's on top of me, humping me. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, you know which way they try to swing public persuasion.
To weakness. Well, no, they try to glorify weakness.
Yeah, well, that's
like
what it is.
The weak. They want to make the weak men the attractive men.
Guys.
Yeah, fuck you.
Oh, I know.
Fuck you. Well, that was a good little rant that we went on. The topic today.
Oh, we're not even on topic?
Yeah, which has nothing to do with anything we fucking talked about, is surviving and thriving during the lowest point in your life. Which I have shit that I can talk about and relate to because I recently went through the lowest point in my life 2 years ago. So, but I've had a lot of people reach out, it seems lately within like the last year, talking about and asking, I feel like I'm drowning or I feel like I'm at the lowest point of my life. What do I do? How do I deal with it? How do I get out of it? All this shit. So I feel like there's a lot of people right now that are going through that just are floundering and feel helpless and don't know what the fuck to do. So the best way that I can say to start, and I'm gonna relate it to the experience I went through and to the shit that I did. So when I went through my divorce, when my ex-wife left, I basically like holed myself off and was a hermit for like 5 to 6 months. Didn't go hang out with any of my friends. Got into a program that made me work on myself, and I had homework to do and all of that shit, and I dove 100% into that because it goes back to one of the first podcasts that we did talking about focusing on what you can control. So when you feel like you're drowning and there's all this shit going on that you can't do anything about and you feel like you're taking losses every fucking day, you need to readjust your mind and focus yourself back on, okay, what in this situation that I'm going through, what is directly under my control and what is not, okay? So you can control your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, your words. So the best thing to start doing is assess where you feel the weakest. A lot of times it's people don't have any sense of pride in themselves. So if that's the case, you start working on you. You start finding out, where am I struggling in my life with, where am I struggling as me? What areas am I weak in? What areas do I have to improve in? What areas can I improve in that are under my control? And that's where you start. And you start making those daily wins and you start building momentum to where you start feeling better about yourself. And then you build on top of it. And that's the best time to start developing daily habits, morning routines, stuff like that, because you're essentially, what you want to do is when you're at this dark chapter in your life And actually, this is one of the questions that that someone asked, I think on the second Q&A. You have to understand that just because you're in this dark chapter in your life, it doesn't mean it's the last chapter. It's just a fucked up chapter. You have to start rewriting that next chapter. And there's shit that's in this current chapter, this current fucked up chapter, that's not coming to the next chapter. So that's when it's time to purge the shit that doesn't serve what you want or where you want to be, whether it be friendships, boyfriend, girlfriend, family members, whatever the fuck it is, okay? All this shit that's going on, all this shit that's part of the lowest point of your life, some of it's got to get purged. We can't start a new life and take all the shit that was involved in the bad part. I mean, you can't fucking do it.
Right.
So find out, audit your life and see what people are in my life that are feeding this place of where I got to. So for me, when I was lying to my ex-wife and cheating and all this shit, I had people that were supportive of that. I had people that were like cheerleaders and thought it was awesome and, you know, like thought it was cool as shit and everything else. So I realized they were feeding me to get to this fucked up point. They were feeding the descent, you know, so they couldn't come because I was trying to get out of this place. They helped they helped me dig myself into this place. So, okay, so those people can't come. So they're done.
Yeah.
So one of the first things I did was cut off from all the people that were cheerleaders for the fucked up shit that I was doing. They were done.
Right.
And
But a lot of people can't do that.
well, but that's the thing. So the only thing that's going to pull you out of this fucked up part, I mean, you make no mistake about it. You can do the blame game all you want. The reason why you're in this lowest point of your life is you.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. No one threw you here.
Yeah.
You slowly dug the fucking hole and got to this point.
Yeah. Well, even like high school friends, like you meet somebody, it's your first day of school, y'all are friends all throughout high school, you know, and then you become adults. And a lot of times, I mean, that person that you were friends with, they never matured at the same rate as you did.
Right.
And you know, you hang out every weekend, then it's once a month,
Right.
then it's quarterly, and then it's biannually, and then it's just once
you
a
outgrow
year.
people. What you need to do.
People. And what you need to do.
Yeah, you need to.
Right, but you need to recognize that, because the same thing happens even if it's not a fucked up situation, like in your case.
Right.
Like, but you know, people just mature, and it's like you gotta learn to just you gotta leave those people behind in order for you to grow.
Correct.
You know? Correct. So even if it's nothing as bad as your situation, even if it's just a little bit like, oh man, I gotta go see, you know, whatever, and listen
Right.
to her bullshit,
Right.
and she asked me for all this advice, and I give it to her. She never wants to listen. You just gotta let that go. That's just drowning you. Right. You know.
Well, you have to be able to look at how you got to where you're at. So whether you're at the lowest point of your life and it's due to finances, whether it's due to your relationship, whether it's due to an addiction, whatever, you have to be able to ask yourself, okay, what did I do to get me here? Okay, yeah. And even if it's your job, okay, and you're not financially making it, okay, what decisions have you made over the course of the last couple of years that have not put you financially to where you need to be? And there's always a fucking answer. You can't say that you did everything perfect, because if you did, you wouldn't be in the situation you were in.
Correct.
Okay?
Right.
So you have to be able to be real with yourself and say, what role did I play?
Dude, you know it's a big epidemic going on?
Fuck, there's lots.
There's a lot of people out there. I find this mostly with guys. They're saying they got all this shit going on, right?
Oh, dude, that's the typical social media shit.
They got this job, they do this. And first of all, if you're doing all this stuff,
You ain't got time to be on social media.
well, not only that, not only being on social media, but like, you kind of shouldn't be around me. Like I feel like you're like
Right.
All the shit you're telling
You're
me.
5 levels ahead of me, but we're hanging out.
Right.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it's like, you got this, but I'm like, but you're driving that. Which, by the way, there's a lot of people with plenty of money that drive beaters. I love that, by the way. But it's like, man, you got all these issues, but yet you got this, and this. It's not adding up.
Right. The math ain't mathing.
Right. So there's a big epidemic of guys lying, probably females too, but just because I'm a guy, I talk to mostly guys,
Right.
you know?
Right.
You're not adding up, and you're not fooling anybody either, you know?
Well, that's not going to lead to anywhere good.
It's not going to lead anywhere good either. You're just lying.
What do you think that's going to get you?
And you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
And then that person will ask for money.
Well, the rug's going to get pulled out from under you at some point.
Right. And then that person will like ask to borrow money from you. And you're like, well, hold up.
Right.
Aren't you like this guy that does
I can't give you money because I have all of these monthly fucking bills for all of this bullshit that I try to appear I have.
I don't know, man. I noticed that that's an epidemic.
Well, there's lots of epidemics.
And then I'm just a guy like you trying to fuck me? Like, why are you lying to me? Guys shouldn't lie to each other. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, well, why are you trying to impress me? I don't care.
Right. I'm not sucking your dick. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I'm not fucking you. Like, right.
Like, dude, I'm a dude. Don't lie to me. You lie to, go lie to women. I don't care.
Right. Well, I feel like what people don't realize is, and look, when you're in it, you can't realize it because you're so emotionally and mentally fucked up.
And it's going fast.
Yeah.
You're burning it fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When I
6 months will fly by.
When I was fucked up, I had to eventually motivate myself to be better and get better because I said that hitting rock bottom is only a chance to propel yourself to a lot of fucking personal growth.
Yeah, there's only one place to go.
Like it literally sets the stage and puts you in a place to where all you can do is work on yourself in every aspect possible, start new habits, get rid of toxic people. Like,
because you pretty much, if you hit rock bottom, you pretty much burn the bridge with everyone.
Yeah.
So all you have is yourself.
Well,
so you got all the time in the world to work on yourself.
Well, right. Yeah. Right. And it's and look, it's easier said than done because when you're in it, you're fucked up. I mean, I think dude, for the first couple of months, I think I cried every fucking night. Yeah. Like it was just,
and it's embarrassing.
Me and my ex-wife had been together for 12 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we lived together. We started living together after we had dated for a year. So I laid in a bed next to this person for 11 years.
Yeah.
To go from that to sleeping by yourself every night.
On a futon in a gym.
Fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking, and it sucks because that person's gone. Like you literally feel like a part of you is gone. Mm-hmm. So you're fucked up. But you have to understand that this is literally the end of this current chapter, and we are literally about to start a new one. Okay, so what are we gonna write? What is it gonna be? If you can't sit there and look at the role you played and what the fuck you did and what needs to change, then there's no point in listening to any more of this podcast because that's the first thing. The first thing you have to do is look inward. If you're incapable of doing that, you're fucked. I don't care what what reel on Instagram says or what the fuck ever.
Well, for 95% of people that's going through this, they're not going to own it.
Well, 95% of the people are fucked then.
Well,
I mean, it is what it is.
Well, that's. I would say that's pretty much the average.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Because
you're
constantly blaming other people for your situation. Where are those people at?
Well, people want to blame the government. They want to blame the powers that be, and like that's all great and fine, but you can't.
Oh, dude, they got people they blame the neighbor for shit.
You're not controlling what's going on in the government right now.
Right.
So it's a fucking waste. The government doesn't dictate your life.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do about you? How are you going to be a better person? What are you going to do to strengthen yourself discipline-wise? Like, for me, I was cheating and lying. Yeah. So I needed a lot of discipline. A lot of fucking discipline because I needed discipline and boundaries.
Right.
So I needed to learn how to be vulnerable and become deeply rooted in what I wanted and what I didn't want. And I had to learn to be able to say no.
Right.
And I had to learn to be vulnerable, to be honest, and be like, own your shit, be able to say no, be able to notice what people are toxic and what people aren't toxic, and follow those boundaries that align with what you want.
Right.
So if it literally all starts with you basically redefining and reshaping your life. Like after you look inward and you figure out what role did I play? What did I do to get me to this point? And then when you can acknowledge it and say, okay, now I see what I did wrong. You own your shit. It's kind of doesn't feel like it at the time. In hindsight, it will, but that's kind of the fun part because now you get to like literally redefine your whole life. Mm-hmm. Okay, what do I want? What don't I want? What am I going to tolerate? What am I not going to tolerate? What are my boundaries? What are the things that I believe in that I'm going to live by? Like you literally get to redefine and rewrite your whole fucking life. Everything that you're going to accept, that you're not going to accept, like the person you're going to become, the person you don't ever want to become again. And then you write all this shit down, and then you start developing the habits and all these things to live within that. And looking back, obviously it wasn't fun at the time, but then when I can look back during that period and see what I went through, I'm like, fuck, that was actually like the most pivotal point. Mm-hmm. When I got to recreate my whole life, like all from scratch. Of what I wanted in a partner and what I didn't want in a partner and what I wanted financially for my life and what I wanted in business and where I wanted to be mentally and what control I wanted to have on my emotions, like all this different shit.
Right.
I got to literally like write the rules for. Like it's pretty fucking cool when you think about it.
The only cooler thing would have been is to recognize that before it went to shit.
Well, right, but here's the thing, and here's what I've learned during that, and this is why I've learned that rock bottom is so pivotal, and why people try to like they try to be in denial, like because they don't want to admit like that that you're at rock bottom.
Because you could have like blamed Billy for tripping you, right. And then you accidentally fell in that girl's pussy, and it's Billy's fault that you've cheated on your wife. If you're that guy,
right,
then you're not the same person.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. But rock bottom, and you'll see it. You'll see the meme out there. It says rock bottom teaches you shit that like nothing else ever could.
Yeah,
because it does. I mean, you can't really understand and learn how to win until you lose.
Yeah, you just got punched in the mouth.
Right. You can't really fully learn how to succeed until you fail. Right. Like you can't learn how to be the best spouse ever until you fucked up as a spouse.
Right.
So like that's what I said before, where rock bottom it sets the momentum to have this large journey of personal growth.
Yeah.
If you utilize it that way. If you let it happen, if you sit in it, if you feel it, if you experience it, if you use it to grow and redefine your life, dude, it can be like, do I regret all the shit that I did? Fuck yeah. Like, I absolutely do. I hate that I broke my ex-wife's heart.
Yeah.
I hate that I lied to her. I hate that I made her question herself. I hate all the shit that I did. Fuck yeah, I regret it. Absolutely. But I also have to acknowledge, if she would have never left and that would have never happened, I wouldn't be here doing this shit right now. I wouldn't know what I know. I wouldn't be the man that I am. I wouldn't have the relationship that I currently have. Like, I wouldn't have any of the good shit that I have now. So it's like, do you sit there and cheer on the fact that you hit rock bottom? No. But you can use it to put you in a place in your life to where you can look back and be like, you know what? Hitting rock bottom was probably the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah, well, like prison saves a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
You know?
Not everybody, but it does. You can use it. You can use it to...
Well, just like anybody. You couldn't have used it, but you did. Right. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't use it.
Right. So if you really, truly want to be better, if you really, truly want to have a better life, you have to accept that when you're at this lowest point, that's your chance. Your rock bottom is your fucking chance to build the future life and to lay the foundation to have the fucking best life that you possibly can. Now, you're not going to feel good when you're in it. You're going to feel out of your fucking mind. You're going to feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster. But that's when you have to go back to focus on things you can control, to where instead of your mind being all over the place and you just feel like you're taking losses every 5 fucking minutes, you need to like rezone in and say, okay, these are my 5 things. These are my 3 things that I want to get done today that are going to make me better. You check them off as you do them. Well, once you get them done, you won the day. That's it. You're good. Okay, well, this day was a fucking win. Regardless about all this other noise going on, we had a task to do. We had a daily task list to do, and we did it. That's a fucking win. And you use that to build momentum. But all the tasks have to be to make you better. So for me, one of the not everybody likes to read. I like to read. So I read anything and fucking everything about being a shitbag fucking person, learning how to rebuild your life, being single, learning how to be a man of value. Like I read everything I could that related to what I was going through. So if you're fucked up with addiction and you're maybe you're a reader, maybe you're not a reader, read audiobooks, whatever. But you should be feeding your mind and feeding your space with everything you possibly can relevant to what you're going through. Because there's insight in that. Like I learned shit. I learned shit about me. I learned shit about what I did. I learned shit about what I was going through because I read everything I could get my hands on pertaining to what I was going through. So like use it. We're using this time to redefine our life. We're using this time to be better and to grow. So we're going to flood ourselves with as much material and information and shit that we can about what we're going through and how to get better and how to be better. And I feel like people don't do that. They just sit there and they flounder like a fucking fish out of water, thinking that they have no control over anything. Anything they do fucks up. Everything is fucked up. Everything's going wrong. But they lose sight of there's a lot of shit going on right now that you can control, that you can win at every fucking day, that you have direct control over you winning. And that's what you have to do. You have to empower yourself. You have to re-empower your life by stacking those wins every day. You have to. It's part of, and for me, and if you don't have the discipline to do this, again, I'm sorry, you're fucked. But for me, one of the things that I went through was once people found out that I was separated, women came out the woodworks because I was single at that point. So everyone wanted to fuck and be fuck buddies and this, that, and the other. Well, I had to have the discipline to say no. Mm-hmm. I was like, this behavior got me to where I'm at.
Right.
I don't want to be where the fuck I'm at anymore.
Yeah. So
we can't continue to do this behavior.
Yeah, and if you're throwing it out there like that, chances are you're not the one.
No. Well, so in redefining my life, this was part of the program I was in. We had to write out what we wanted in a partner, and you had to be detailed about it. Like I'm talking like hair color and eye color, and like they wanted you to like literally, because that's part of manifesting is you have to get super, super detailed into what you want. And so when you write that out and you have a clear picture of what you want, you're very aware of what fits that mold and what doesn't. Mm-hmm. So if you're battling addiction or you're having trouble financially, whatever, and you write down, I'm talking like minute details of where you want to be and what you want and what you don't want. And you write that shit down and you read it every day, it cements it in your mind. So anything that doesn't fit it, you can you recognize it really easy. No, this doesn't fit. This I wrote down what I wanted. I read it every day. I know what I want. This doesn't even resemble this at all. So doing that as well is another way to help really define what you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate. Right. Like you have to be I really can't stress enough that you have to be as detailed as fucking possible. If you are homeless right now and you want to have a home, you need to sit there and visualize and detail and write out what color the fucking shingles are going to be, what color the fucking brick's going to be, what color the floor, like detail what the house is going to smell like, like everything, how the grass is going to be fucking cut, like the whole deal. And when your mind attaches to that, any type of spending or whatever that doesn't put you on the path to that, like going to go buy, these people that are fucking homeless, that want to get out of their situation, that go and buy their $5 fucking Starbucks every day, that shit will stop. Like, you'll stop doing that because you're like, okay, this is not helping me get a house. This isn't helping me get an apartment.
Well, there's nobody that's homeless that doesn't want to be homeless.
Well,
they're addicted to drugs.
Well, I feel like there's people right now that are just financially strained that aren't bums. Like, they have jobs.
Yeah, but
they have fucking jobs, and like they have good paying jobs, but they can't afford to live anywhere.
Yeah, but if you're not on drugs and you got a low paying job, you could go get a guest room at your buddy's house that you went to high school with.
I don't know, dude. I don't know, man.
If you're on the street, you're on drugs.
I've talked to a couple people.
There's 5 people right now. Hey, man, you mind if me and my wife, we had something happen. She got sick. I lost the house.
But what if you don't have a friend like that?
I got to sell the house. Because I'm not on drugs.
No, but I'm saying, like, what if you just have? What if the people in your circle just aren't as genuine as you think they are? Because in times like that, that's when people show their true colors. We're friends, okay?
They would.
But when you find out when you're really a friend is when, like, I'm at rock bottom or I really need a solid favor and you show up. That's
if you kind of got a drug problem and you fucked up and you're known for borrowing money and not repaying it or stealing and shit like that. No, that motherfucker, you're on the street. You lost all respect from other people to be able to live at your house. But if you're the guy that, can't make ends meet at your wife and your kid and whatever, you got 5 or 6 friends. Oh man, sorry to hear that. Yeah, you can catch the guest room for a month or 2 until you get you back on your feet.
Maybe.
But no, if you're on the street, you're a drug addict. You're not all the way there, or you're schizo. You're not all the way there.
I don't know, man. I think there's some people that are exceptions.
I don't know anybody that's living in a car.
I'm not saying a lot
because the energy bill went up $80 a month.
Well, not just the energy bill goes up, every fucking bill.
I hear you, but if you got your right mind and you're not on drugs or you're not a schizo, you can go scrounge up $300-$400 extra a month and keep your house.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying not to say names.
People on the street are drug addicts.
There's been people I've talked to that literally, and I tell them the same thing we're saying on the show right now, and it's like I legit feel bad for these people because they're taking losses daily, and they're like, I don't know, they're living in their car, because they couldn't afford their fucking apartment anymore. Well, and then the car breaks. And you don't have money to fix the car. And then
where are your friends at?
How the fuck do you get to your job?
Well, where are your friends at?
So now you're having to Uber to get to your job. And that's just more money.
But where are your friends at? Where's your aunts or uncles?
What if your friends work? What if your family members are deadbeats? What if your family members are drug addicts and you're not? So you can't rely on them.
Well, she's the 0.1%. Well, he's the 0.1%.
Still a legit scenario.
I hear you, but for the majority, you're a drug addict.
I mean, you gotta. The point being is that if you want to get out of the situation you're in bad enough, if you hate where you're at, because that was my thing. When I hit rock bottom, I hated it.
Yeah.
I looked around and I was like, this is in no way what I want my fucking life to be. Like, this doesn't resemble in any way, shape, or form anything that I want out of my fucking life. So I hated where I was. So if you hate where you are enough, you will do shit to fix it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to hate it. You can't make excuses. You can't justify where you are. You literally, with every ounce of who you are, have to fucking hate the situation you're in.
No matter what your situation is, I think you should kind of hate it a little bit.
Well, so that you'll create a plan to be better.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was my thing, is I have nothing now. I have no family to come home to. The person I was with for 11 years that I could talk to, that I could reach out to, whatever, is gone. They're not responding to me anymore. They're fucking gone. So now I was stuck with myself, except the problem with that is I was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So I was literally stuck with nothing.
Right.
So again, I hated where I was enough. I hated myself enough that I was like, this is not me. Mm-hmm. This is not what life's going to be. So I need to do everything I can to fix me, to make me better, so that I won't do this shit again. And you being at rock bottom is always going to revolve around you some kind of way, which means something with you needs to be fixed. So you need to find out what that is and attack it and fix it so it's gone, so that rock bottom doesn't come around again. And that's how you make it. That's how you get through it. That's how you survive. I mean, rock bottom is survivable.
Yeah.
I mean, no one has a plan. I didn't have a fucking plan. Like, when the rug got fucking pulled out from under me, when my ex-wife texted me and said, I'm done, I filed for divorce, like, I'm not coming back home. Like, there was no preparedness for that.
Right.
That was a text message out of the fucking blue one day. So I didn't have a plan. Once I sat in that shit long enough and I realized I hated where I was, then I was like, okay, what do I have to do to get out of this so that I'll never go through this again?
Right.
And the root of it is you. Like, whether it's addiction, whatever, like, they have free shit out there where you can get help. Like, get fucking help. Like, beat the addiction. And they say, oh, well, drug addicts never, they're never ever not an addict. Okay, well, fine. Go beat it, though. Doesn't mean that there's lots of people that did drugs for the majority of their life. They got clean, they're still clean. Right. Go fucking beat it.
Go beat that person.
Yeah, go, exactly.
There's many
examples. What one person can do, another person can do.
Right.
So go be that fucking person. Like, go beat it. There's lots of people who have been homeless and are now fucking millionaires. Go be that person. Figure it the fuck out. They did it. You can do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to hate where you're at enough. You have to be able to acknowledge the role you played. You have to be able to look in the mirror and say, you're the fucking reason why we're here, and you got to rewrite your life. And it sounds easy. It sounds like it's fucking simple. It's not. No one told me.
Yeah.
No one told me what to do. I had to figure it out. Like, no one said, okay, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to do this. And tomorrow we're going to do this. Like, I had to sit in my own skin, hating who I was, and figure it out. And I got in that program, and I learned how to be vulnerable, and I learned how to be honest, and I learned how to not lie anymore, which all contributed to making me a better person. I had homework to do every day. I went and talked to a priest that I was friends with. He gave me, I think it was like 60, what's it called? Devotion. 60 devotional Bible scriptures to go read. Mm-hmm. And then with every one, there's like 5 questions you have to answer. So I did that. Because improving your spirituality can't hurt. I mean, who has that ever fucking ruined? You know? So I did everything I could. Anything and everything that I thought could help. I was literally willing to just keep throwing shit at the wall, and I'm like, something's going to stick eventually. If it all sticks, great, but something's going to fucking work.
Yeah.
So I just did anything and everything I could possibly think of to be a better person, to get reconnected to myself, to rewrite my life, to figure out what I wanted in my life, and to really just cement and envision in my mind what I wanted, to where anything that didn't even remotely jive with that, it instantly made me want to avoid it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, get the fuck, like, run the fuck away from it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that people don't do enough of. Like, they're willing to tolerate certain shit that you can't tolerate anymore. Like, I would tolerate girls in my DMs flirting with me because I would think, oh, I'm not fucking them. So like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Well, no, it's seeds. You're planting seeds that don't fucking serve anything.
Right.
So I had to learn that, like, no, we're not going to tolerate flirting with random chicks anymore.
In that program, did anybody ever describe the woman they want to be with as like I want to meet a girl that she messaged me on a DM saying she wants to meet me at the Holiday Inn Express or something?
Well, so we did have video shit that we had to share, but a lot of all that stuff that we filled out was fucking private. So I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I don't think anybody ever.
But this
wishes that's the way they.
This goes to show you, though. Okay, this goes to show you how many people are willing to make a change. So that program that I got in, they have a section for men and women, which are completely separate. But the men's section is specifically designed for men who are business owners with families that are struggling, like, in life and making it all work.
Yeah.
So it was all guys that were in not the same situation, but similar. They had shitty marriages, or they were being shitty parents, or they were cheating, or whatever. It was all similar. Mm-hmm. We had 360 guys sign up and pay. You had to pay.
Oh, wow.
Paid for the program. It's a 30-day program. Pay for it day one. Okay? Now, this was like a self-motivated program. So they give you a curriculum, they give you homework to do, but, like, you have to do it.
Yeah.
So they're like, you know, that you get all of these apps, these audio apps and reading apps and all this shit. And they tell you what you have to do. And you have homework to do.
And less than 5 people completed it.
Dude, on graduation day.
How many?
30.
Oh, wow. It's more than I thought.
30 fucking people out of 360.
Yeah. Well, it's the same if anything. If it was a workout routine, or if it was a diet, or it was anything. I mean, America, we're fucking lazy, and we're always looking for the easy way out. That's the majority of of Americans.
That's the problem.
Right. So that same percentage is on everything that requires any work.
So I talk about it. I talk about this a lot on the gym page, and a lot of people shrug it off and think it's fucking dumb. And the reason I talk about it is because I've experienced it. I don't just arbitrarily say random shit that I think sounds cool.
Yeah.
I say shit because I've experienced it and it's worked. So I'm like, hey, I've done it. It works. So I'm going to let you know about it.
Right.
But I tell people all the time, I always talk about getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And it doesn't pertain to any one thing. It could be going to work out at the gym when it's 100 degrees. It could be going to cut your grass in the middle of the day when it's the hottest point of the day. It could be anything that you don't want to do, that you shut that little voice up in your head and say, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, which is why I'm going to do it.
Right.
And it's something that's not fun, that's uncomfortable, that you really don't want to do. You would rather seek comfort. I don't want to cut my grass right now. I'm going to go do it at night when the sun's down. Mm-hmm. Or I'm going to go do it early in the morning. Whatever it is. I'm not going to go jog outside because it's raining. I don't want to go jog in the rain. Anything. I don't want, I had a shitty day today. I don't want to eat healthy. I want to go get a fucking burger and fries.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever it is. Whatever you can do to shut up that little weak voice in your head.
Yeah.
And where you get okay and comfortable choosing the uncomfortable thing, it transfers into life. It makes you able to deal with the hard shit easier. And it's a subconscious thing. Like, 'cause people are like, how the fuck would working out in a no air conditioned gym help me with life? Well, a lot of fucking ways.
Yeah.
A lot of ways. When you make a habit out of deciding to do the hard thing, the hard things get easier.
Yeah.
And your threshold goes up. Well, soon your threshold goes up to when it's so fucking high to where anything that's uncomfortable that's under that threshold is no longer uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Less shit becomes uncomfortable, which means life gets easier, which means shit gets easier, which means dealing with the hard shit gets easier.
Or at least you don't have to cry about your car being 118 degrees and you
anything, dude. It's all transferable.
And you got to post. You got to take
the AC goes out in your house.
a picture of it on your dashboard and post it on social media to let everybody know your car is 112 degrees.
I come home during the day, okay, and I don't leave the air conditioner on when I'm not home. I come home, my house is like 77, 78 degrees. Some people would flip the fuck out if their house was 77 degrees. I was just in a gym for an hour and a half and it was 102. 77 feels fucking magical.
Oh, I'll put mine on 68.
Well, you're weak, Sal. You're fucking weak.
What do you mean?
But I was at...
I fucking work outside all day, dude. I want a cold ass house.
I was at the... Well, obviously I turn the AC on like when I come home.
Yeah.
Like I don't leave it on 77. But I was at... the other day, I was fucking at the cryotherapy place getting an IV. And it was raining. It was storming. And the AC went out. And they were like, oh, fuck, man. They
They always have the door open.
they were like, it's going to get so hot in here. So, like, we've been in, so, like, whatever, 20 minutes goes by. And they're like, you okay? And I'm like, feels fucking wonderful in here to me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in the gym. The music's blaring. They got some kind of, like, alarm going off. Plus, there's no AC. Dude, I'm fucking laid back in there with this IV in my arm. And,
Right.
like, when you can condition yourself for chaos, anything less than chaos.
Yeah. Oh, it's
It's
like when
shit.
it's like when we went to Disney World. I mean, they had people that couldn't even walk around outside.
Yeah.
It was too hot for them.
Right.
And we're just walking around
Right.
from one air conditioned line to another air conditioned line to ride some ride. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
You can't walk outside.
So not that doing these things makes rock bottom any easier, but it makes you getting through it easier, and it makes you being willing to do the hard shit that you need to do to get through it and to become a better person. It makes that easier.
Yeah.
So if you want to prepare for, like, if you want peace, prepare for war. Same thing. If you want life to be easy, prepare for life to be fucking hard and do the hard shit. And anything less than that would be a fucking breeze. And I can't stress that enough to people. And now that's what's happening. Now life is so hard and economically everything is so fucked up and so many people are struggling, but they've been choosing comfort for so long. Now shit's uncomfortable and no one knows what the fuck to do. Everyone's like freaking the fuck out and people are bitching and whining and this and da 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 da. And it's like, it's just life, man. Just if you would have been disciplined enough to make yourself strong in all these different, I'll talk about it all the time, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. If you would have been disciplined enough to strengthen yourself in all these areas, if you would have taken all this time to be comfortable being uncomfortable, now that we're in this uncomfortable situation, you'd be prepared for it. You wouldn't bitch and cry and whine and blame other people. You'd be like, you know what? I just need to dig my fucking feet in and keep going.
Yeah.
Same thing. Rock bottom, same thing. Dig your fucking feet in, rewrite your life. Like, let's go. Same shit.
Same shit.
You've been really quiet tonight, Sal.
No, I've been rocking and rolling.
Final thoughts.
Get out of travel ball. Just fucking stop wasting your time. Dude, your kid's not going to make the high school team. You're going to be one of those people that, like, every year your kid's going to be in a new high school to try to make the team. Like, you got to go travel through these high schools to eventually try to make the team. You'll end up having to do the coach favors just so your kid can ride the bench and shit. Why do you want to put yourself through that? It's crazy. Like, you got to go to, like, I think we had one kid, dude. Like he ended up like pitching a little bit. Like come to find out, he like I think he like did the landscaping for the coach's front yard or something. We're like, oh, okay, those little turds fucking throwing now. We get it.
Life advice from Sal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, be conditioned for chaos. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Develop discipline. It makes life completely easier. Rock bottom is not the last chapter. It's just a dark chapter. Shit from the current chapter can't go to the next chapter. Rewrite everything. You get to choose how it's written. Rewrite everything.
That's it.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. I know this probably applies to a lot of y'all. I get a lot of DMs about people that are really just fucked up right now and really struggling. Life's just fucking hard. I mean, look, I get it. Times are fucking tough right now. If this episode resonates with some of y'all or resonates with someone you know, share with them. Maybe it can help them, give them some insight they didn't have before, and just help them kind of get through what they're going through. Book recommendation for this episode: How to Control the Uncontrollable by Ben Aldridge. Great book. Actually read this while I was fucked up going through all my shit. It says 10 game-changing ideas to help you think like a stoic and build a resilient life, which that's ultimately the type of shit that helps you get through what we're going right now. The more resilient you can be, the more optimistic you can be, the more you can condition yourself for the uncomfortable times, the easier the uncomfortable times are. So check this book out if y'all aren't into reading, Kindle version, all that shit. Yeah. So we'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.